when I run my makeup on, my eyes look like they're a quarter of the size. They look like little tiny fucking baby eyes. I don't like it. I should have a theme song for Schizo Garage. You think with my background as not really a musician, whatever it was I did all those years, I'd be able to whip one up. But I do have a hard and fast rule that if you're talking about any kind of spirituality or anything, you can't really have a theme song. Although my stuff tends to get a bit more irreverent sometimes, and maybe not as respectful as I guess it could be. I try to have some fun. Still, yeah, a theme song ain't gonna make it. Especially like, I mean, if I'm talking about something super serial, I try to keep it straight. Like usually with mental health stuff, I keep it straight, you know. But I haven't really had a lot of problems here. You know, and again, I would posit that mental health is really spiritual health. Going through all the time I spent in that industry, and it is an industry, it's about producing money and taking care of people. And I don't mean taking care of them like taking good care of them. I mean just taking care of them. Maybe for a family, just like, okay, you want to get rid of this one? Okay, cool. You know, we'll put this one away. At least that's how it used to be. They don't keep you in wards anymore, or, well, there are no hospitals, maybe a few. They don't keep you in wards anymore because it's an insurance thing. So they hop you up on all kinds of pills, keep you in the system, and you have a really bad quality of life until the medications eventually kill you, in my opinion. You know, but since I moved here, it's like, man, it's been so much better having just any kind of event or any kind of, a couple freakouts here and there. I documented a few of them, but not nearly as much as what used to happen before I lived here. There's a sort of weird healing thing with this island. Certainly with the DID stuff, I don't really have that happen. Occasionally I have that happen. But, you know, as far as that goes, that's kind of in the past. I mean, I don't really have a lot of DID related problems like I used to have. And that's the worst. Like, the schizophrenia thing is one thing. I'm a bit more high functioning than I think most, but the DID is just awful. It's embarrassing. It's terrible. It's not anything anyone wants, and it's not anything like the girls on TikTok, which I tell you it is. It's fucking awful. It really is. But yeah, enough about that. I just fired this up because I just woke up like a half hour ago. I had to run the store. If I was a more talented creator or a more committed one or whatever, I'd go through all my old shit where I would talk about how dreams are not something your brain makes up. They're not stories made up by your brain. They're not little movies. Your brain isn't creative. I know that sounds crazy to people because it's what you've always been told. Your brain just runs the fucking suit. It has nothing to do with you. It makes sure that fucking all this shit works. That's it. And just for fun, I don't know why I even did it. Because I was thinking about this whole dream sequence I just had gone through. And I Google search dreams, because it's just funny sometimes to see what they say. Always use Yandex. It's not the best, it's a little bit better. The results will be 100% different. If you want to know if something is real, just Google search it. And if you have the Hamlet Shakespeare problem, where the lady doth protest too much, you know it's fucking real. Fucking, here's the thing. Google urine therapy sometime and see the pages and pages and pages and pages and don't do it, you'll die, it's poison. Do the same search on Yandex and you'll get pages and pages of how good it is, how all the benefits, blogs of people that do it, its ties to the Bible and to Jesus. That's why they don't want you to they don't want you to do anything that Jesus might have done. I know what you might be thinking. You think Jesus was a piss drinker? It's like, well, you only think that's bad because you've had a whole life of being trained that it's waste and images of dirty bathrooms conjured in your head, and the smells, and maybe even junkies or someone shooting up in a fucking... All that shit comes into your mind by design. You know, they don't want you... I'm not going to get too into urine therapy thing, but I'll tell you one thing. When you go to the doctor, right, and they take your urine, what they can see, because it's out of your body, is how much stuff you have in there. Like, okay, you're low on this, you have too much of that. Your body doesn't know. Your body doesn't know that. It's just cranking this stuff all the time. It never gets a report card on how it's doing, okay? So your body will produce a report card for doctors to look at. Then the doctors will take that and they'll prescribe you all kinds of pharmaceutical bullshit to try to help those levels. If you were to reintroduce that sample into your body would be able to read it. It's a DNA thing. It'd be able to read it and go, oh, okay. Oh, I see. All right, we got to start making more of this and stop doing that. And that's all I'll say about it. If you can put that together, then fucking God bless you. But I'm not going to, you know, let myself in that trap of being the piss drinker. So I had this dream, right? Oh, get me back to fucking, yeah. I leave on track A. I get on track C. So I looked up dreams in Google, and this is what it says. Exactly, almost verbatim, the opposite of what I always say here, all the time. Anyway, this one dream, it's just kind of freaky. I don't know what the point of it is, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Because it's, you know, it's schizo-eyed, here we are. I was homeless, okay? I was kind of floating around. I used to be able to lucid dream, meaning I would be in the dream world knowing everything about, and therefore you could do all kinds of cool shit. These days, it's been years since I've lucid dreamed. In fact, dreams now to me feel more real than they've ever felt. I don't know what that is. Maybe someone more experienced could tell me what the hell's going on. At any case, it's where we are. So I'm kind of floating around. You know, I'm floating around between places, just trying to find a place to kind of live in this weird kind of world, this kind of patchwork world of all these different neighborhoods, all these different places. So I find myself joining this being accepted into this sort of crew. And I remember the moment it kind of happened. And it was like a house party type of thing. And everybody had like the paper cups and stuff. And I remember going to the door and being like, hey, can you know, just get in, it's raining out, where the fuck is going on. And they gave me a cup. And I knew once I had that cup, I was in. So for a while, I spent walking around what would be, I guess, a compound or something. But instead of rooms, it had like worlds. Like one area was all water, and then you go through this, like, you just walk into this next area and it's all like something else. But there were bedrooms and stuff in there, and people had like regular like TVs and devices and things. So as time goes on, I actually woke up in the middle of this, went to the bathroom, had a drink, and then went back to the same place. That right there should tell you, you know what I mean? These are not things your brain invents. These are places that you go. You will have a dream about a place, and you'll go there months later. I'm going to go off a little sidetrack here. This fucking whole thing is sidetrack. But anyway, I was visiting one of my old houses, and they were doing work on it. They were rebuilding the face of it, okay? And I was like, oh, they're rebuilding it. Months later, I had a dream about it, and they were done. And I was like, oh, they did a good job on this. It's like a persistent world. These are persistent worlds that are interdimensional, interfrequency, and you interact with them when you leave your body, because when you dream, when you sleep, you leave your body. You have to leave your body because that's how they fix all this shit. They refit the screen so that when you wake up, you're still tethered to this place. That's why if you stay awake too long, and people always blame it on the drugs, it's not the drugs. Oh, every drug does the same thing. When you've been awake too long, you start seeing people, you start seeing places, because you're seeing through to these other frequencies. You're not imagining this shit. So I kind of figured out after a while that what they were is kind of like a magic kind of crew, like a not a cabal, but they're a group that did magic shit. And I'm like, oh, all right. I'm like, do I want to do this? I've always stayed on the periphery of it. You know, I've never been a practitioner or anything like that. I've used a couple things before for stuff, but very little. You know, I've always been a student in the fact that I try to learn about as much of it as I can. And the reason is because your opposing force in this world, all those people in Washington, they use this shit. All right, you might not think it's real, You might think it's silly, but they don't, and they're using it to keep you fucking a slave. The mind control shit they foist on all of us is lesser magic. It's not very strong, but it's done on an industrial scale. They have to do it on a giant population. So as time goes on, it becomes weaker. We're able to perceive through it, which is what's happening now. So anyway, I'm noticing, I'm like, oh yeah, these are some kind of magic. But they seem okay. You know, they're not doing anything bad. And I start learning things. You know, I don't know, I was doing something with water. That was weird. I don't remember a lot of the exact details, but I was doing stuff, learning, making some mistakes, getting laughed at for some stuff. You know, the regular trial and error. So then one night, I go out, or one day, I go out, and if you went out through the front door, it was kind of a normal world. If you went out through the back deck or a back door, you went into all the different weird worlds. So I'm walking up the street, and even the street's a little weird. You know, it's not exactly real. But in that world, it was supposed to be real. So it's getting dark. I'm starting to see these weird things, driving by in cars and kind of slowing down a bit. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go back to the house. I start going back to the house. And I approach the house, and it looks like it got fucking... It looks like it's covered in tentacles for some reason. I'm like, what the fuck happened to the house? And they had this kind of wreath thing out on the door, and it was laid on the street, like someone threw it off. I'm like, what the fuck? I wonder what happened here. Some, you know, crazy person walked by, tore it off. So I start rebuilding it. So I fixed the fucking wreath up. I go to the door, and I knock on it. The door opens, and there's this figure there. He looks like he's African, right? Like an African American man, but he's so black he's blue. Like, he doesn't look human. He's got sharp teeth. He's got these piercing white blue eyes. So yeah, he's blue kinda, but it was really startling. And he has a knife up right by his side. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, this is the wrong house. And he's like, yeah. He's talking like through the fucking scissor type teeth he has. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go. And then I didn't look back at him and walked away. And then just right up the street is the real house, which is fucking dumb. Why would you put the good house next to evil? But I don't know. That's how it is. So I go back to the real house, and I don't want to start telling them all that I just went there because I don't know. But you know, at the same time, they never told me the house up the street was the fucking where the bad guys are. So finally, and I got someone in a one-on-one thing. I'm like, is that like the bad version of this place? And she's like, yeah, they used to work here. They used to be here, and they all went over there. All the bad people. And the house looks exactly the same, except their house is black with tentacles, like not real tentacles, but the tentacles kind of carved into the house. It was really weird. And then for some weird reason, a guy that looked like Richie Blackmore started playing guitar in the room. And then everybody kind of joined in with him, like just sitting around playing music. And very much like Richie Blackmore, someone kind of fucked up and he freaked out and stopped playing. It's fucking pretty funny. And that's when I woke up. So, yeah, I don't know. I might go back there. Hopefully I do. I think to see more what that was all about. But, yeah, when you're in a dream, just kind of pay attention to the people and the places. And what you'll notice, or what I pick up on, is that these people seem to have their own agendas, their own histories, and are in no way controlled by me. They'll have things about them that I couldn't have thought of. I don't know. I don't know how more to explain that, but that's kind of like they're fully formed dudes that weren't invented by my mind. You know, they're moving around in this multi-frequency, multi-dimensional area that your body goes up into. The electromagnetic part of you that leaves your body, it goes half your body length away from you, for whatever reason. I don't fucking know. It's connected by a tether that goes into the navel of the body, and if that were to be cut, you'd die, from what I understand. But yeah, and you hang out there. You just hang out there until whatever process has to be done in your body is finished with. I don't know if it's a good process. I don't know if it's a bad process. I think it has to do with reaffixing the screen here, because sometimes when you wake up, things feel more real. You know, I don't know. I can't explain that. That's a whole different video, but I've done stuff like that before. But yeah, you lose a lot of the momentum you had. Like, I'll go to sleep ready to solve a couple different things, and then I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck was that? What? It conveniently kind of makes you have to start over from the beginning, or at least that's how it feels with me. All right, this was a good 15 minutes. For me, it was. I don't know about for you guys. Hopefully it was for you guys too. And make sure to pop back in. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.